experience, and he's on this morning. You can see him right
Welcome.
there, and we're excited.
Yeah, welcome to the team. Definitely, you're gonna
Experience,
do.
and he's on this morning. You can see him right
Welcome.
there, and we're excited. What? Oh, that's what. So that sounds like my voice.
Yeah, because this is the streaming that just started. Okay, at the same time, but it's off already. Okay, well, let's start. And by the way, just Marines are very successful. People in general, in any of the armed forces are very successful here. But one of the legends in network marketing is he used to be was a Navy SEAL. But anyway, today is a multi, many times millionaire. But anyway, let me start recording, and the floor is yours.
All right. Great. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Excited to finish up on our DISC program this morning. And I want to kind of review for some of those that missed it yesterday. We were talking about the 4 different personalities that you're going to meet and how important it is to understand them and to become a chameleon, or to understand, because if you're a certain personality, you may think everybody thinks like you and feels like you, and you may have a difficult time recruiting them because you really have not connected with them. And I want to review from yesterday and then give you some examples of what I'm talking about. Now, yesterday we talked about the dominance personality. And remember, I gave you 3 questions. The first question, if you write it down, that you would want to say to everyone that you always talk to, tell me about yourself. And then you put the DISC right down below. And remember, when I asked that question, I told you that the D personality, when you say, tell me about yourself, they would respond in 2 ways. They would say either they'll tell you how great they are, all the things they've accomplished. They were the vice president of this, they were the manager of this. They tell you how great they are. Or they will say, what do you want to know? Okay, now you know you're dealing with a D. They want to control the situation. Now, when you say, tell me about yourself, they will tell you their life story. They'll tell you everything they've done in their life. They're so excited to tell you about their boyfriends. They'll tell you about the whole life. Now you know you have an I. And you know, on a D, the way they dress, they don't care how they dress. They can have ragged jeans, they're in control, or they will dress more designer-like and looking really chic. An eye's going to be very flamboyant. They'll wear a lot of jewelry. They wear scarves. They just take things up to another notch. They just love people. They love recognition, and this is important. The third person that you talk to will be the S, steadiness, reviewing this. And when you say, tell me about yourself, they'll tell you everything about their family. The first words, I have 2 kids, I'm married, I've been married 40 years. They tell you everything about their family. So that's a clue. They dress more. They might be someone, if they're a woman, they might the little paisley print dresses, little plaid dresses. They have the things that they wear home. You see their homes. Their home is sweet. They have collections in their house, little rabbits, bunnies, and they're the pajamagram family that all have the look-alike pajamas. They're very security minded. This is just kind of a snapshot. And see, when you say, tell me about yourself, they'll tell you every degree and everything they've accomplished in a more detailed manner. This is a critical, analytical person that really has worked hard to accomplish many things in their lives, and so they want you to know about it. They dress more conservative, excuse me, more conservative. A woman might wear a pearl earring or a gold earring, but there'll be no prints or plaids or scarves or jewelry. A man the same way, they'll be more conservative, because of course their biggest fear is being criticized, etc. Now, and then of course the second question I said, after you find out who they are, is what you really like? What do you like or dislike in your current situation? Now you're gathering information to find out what they like, what they don't like. And then the third question would be, if you had the ideal dream career, what would it be like? And I found that very interesting this morning when we were introducing Ken as a Marine recruiter. He said those were some of the same questions. In fact, Ken say a couple of same. I'm deviating, but this kind of coincides. As a recruiter, say some of the things that you just said on the last call about what you would say trying to recruit the Marines.
Usually when I sit a young kid down, pretty much ask them, what do you want out of life? What's your plans? What are your plans out there in your future? And usually we start writing down. Do me a favor. Here's a piece of paper. Here's a piece of paper. Write down everything that's going to get you to your goal. And they'll give me a list. I'll look at it, and I'm like, okay, we'll cover each one of them. And when we do cover it, it's like majority of the time, the way the recruiting is, it's like, well, how are you going to get there? That's the deal. What's your means? What motivates you to get to that area? You want to be a millionaire? Well, show me how you can do that. Please, I'll join you. You know. So next thing you know, they're like, they have no idea. So our guide in the recruiting bit, we kind of give them an idea of what the military can do for them. So the difference between our branches of service, and nothing against the other branches, I love them all, I really do. But the Marines is that we focus on discipline, we focus on motivation, we focus on a lot of intangibles just to become that better person. We know for a fact travel and pay is going to be there. We know that they're going to board you.
We'll find out.
A roof over your head. We got that. Every branch is going to do that. But what's the difference between the Marine Corps? So just throw that out. What's the difference between 3 international compared to everybody else? You know, you can throw that out. It's like, hey, our product, from what Christine was telling me, which I did a little research too, PDR, it's in the PDR for the medical. I just took the supplement this morning. I'm brand new to it, so I'm hoping everybody in here can tell me otherwise. If you feel indifferent, have you been taking it? Is it better for your health? Things of that nature. Those are the things I want to learn in LA. They talked me into it too. I will be down at the convention, so I want to talk to everybody on the team and actually get other points from other people. But one thing Christine did say on the last one is referral. Referral is the biggest thing in recruiting. If that person is not the type of person for our product, then hey, do me a favor. Do you know somebody that might be? Please write their name down if you don't mind. You mind if I can get their number? I can where I can contact them. And literally, sometimes you just gotta let one go. You can't get everybody. I mean, it'd be nice if you could.
Exactly.
See, recruiting is like for 1 month. Our goal is to get three individuals to join in a month. That's our goal. That's the Marine Corps pushes you big time. If you do not write a contract in 1 month, they demeanor you. It's that bad.
Wow.
You feel like this if you don't write anybody in the Marine Corps. It's like, really, you can't sell the Marines? There's something wrong with you, So you have to find better means of talking to that person. Like, I've heard your list of what they're going to talk about, what's important to them, their family, their life, their lifestyle, their degrees, their goals, and blah, blah, blah. We all can say that all the time. So you're always going to have the one that's going to be, hiding. Hey, I don't talk to anybody, and then you got ones that are willing to talk to somebody. So listening is the key, is one of the biggest thing I can help you guys on, that it helped me, because sometimes we don't tend to listen. You may miss that one thing that, wait a minute, he did say that, or she did say that. And then you're looking at your product, wait a minute, we can do that for you,
Exactly. I love this. And when he was talking about this, I said, how appropriate. And now what you just mentioned something about 3. Well, now you're in 3 international, but you will be doing 3 or more people and recruiting in 3 international. So this is so exciting. But it's the same thing in any business. It's that you're listening listening to who they are and what they say and finding what their need is. This is the big thing. Now, as a snapshot on these dominant personalities, is a D. Here's some characteristics of this too. A high D is impatient, impulsive, takeover type person. They may appear to be rude or abrasive, generally does not care about outward appearances. They're task oriented, they give commands, and they're thick skinned. Now, when you're doing an interview or approach, you need to be brief, get to the point quickly, stress the benefits, be firm, use short responses. Did you see that even in Ken's talking? Boom, boom, boom. Be sure of yourself. Don't pussyfoot around. Show competency. Because, of course, we know the biggest fear of a D is being taken advantage of because they take advantage of other people. And not in a bad way. They just want to control people and get them to work for them. This is how they work. Now, a high I will talk a lot, has high ego, friendly, always smiling. You've met people like this, enthusiastic, outgoing, probably will interrupt you. It may not stay on the same subject, does not like rejection, gets very emotional. And that's what I said yesterday when we talked about this. If someone has said something about them, the way they look, what they said, the way they're doing business, they have to call everybody and get everybody's reassurance. And that high I also likes new, novel, special, like special attention. Let them talk. Don't try to dominate the conversation. Is quick to compliment on good service, but to complain at the same time. Get the ego into the act, be diplomatic and on rejection with them. You have to say things, can you see yourself on stage impacting the world with your wisdom? Can you see how many people? They're really highly motivated of recognition. And so they'll join just for recognition. So you say those things, I can see you on stage, etc. Now with the high D, of course, I'm talking about money and position. Can you, because they're all about how much money can I make? Where can I be in charge? This is who they are. The I, not necessarily the money, although they do like the money, but the recognition is more important than the money. It absolutely is. Now an S, which S and C's that we're going to talk about here are actually 80% of you on this call and people that you're going to meet. A high S is very security conscious. Remember, that's the person when you say, tell me about yourself, they tell you all about their family. They like organization. They're slow to act, is well organized, may have questions written down, is prepared, is tolerant, doesn't like changes, likes the status quo. They don't like anything. Now, this is difficult if you're an I personality and you're building an organization. If you are changing your promotions every other week, the S's get very rattled. They don't like this because they want to be organized. They don't like change. This is who they are. They want systems in place that they can follow. Now, you have to win as a friend. Don't create problems or let your ideas upset their normal routine because they have normal routines. And if you were an I or a D trying to push this S out, just get over it. Come on, let's move. You don't have to know every detail in the product. No, take it slow and easy. Don't push. Be sincere and low key and assure and reassure that all promises will be kept. This is a big thing with an S. If you don't keep your word or you jump around, you say you're going to do one thing and then you don't do it. Let's say that you say, I'm going to offer prizes for this contest this week, and then you don't give your prizes. S's don't like that. They feel like, because they wouldn't do that at all. Their word is their word, and they will be sure to follow through and keep all their promises. Now, a high C is neat and orderly, well prepared, will have detailed, precise questions or complaints. Like structure, knows policy and systems, may talk about policy and systems, is conservative and intends to be a perfectionist, is interested in statistics and facts, needs time to think, consult with others, answer all questions carefully, and complains completely. Talk about structure and systems. You might want to put it all in writing. Now you have all, this is why we're so lucky with our company that we have our back office. We have all this information for these C personalities that might want to know every single detail. Where is it manufactured? Do they have the certificates? They want to know every ingredient. They want to see the studies. And if you're an I or a D, you might go, who cares? Look at the money you can make, but no, if you want to keep them, you've got to be calm and deliver what they want. Now, I don't always know every answer that they ask me, some of these detailed questions, but you know what I will always say to an S and a C? I will say, that's a very good question. I don't have that answer. I don't know that answer, but I will find out for you and I will get back to you shortly. Will that be fine? Absolutely. They don't care as long as they know that I will get the correct information to them. But if I try to fudge and just say, oh, well, I think it is, or I don't know, it doesn't really matter. No, you will never recruit them. But they're okay as long as, so don't be afraid to say, I don't know that answer, but I will find out. And then you have more respect from them. Now, and putting this into perspective, which I think is always fun, is that you have these 4 personalities. And I'm going to say, let's say that everybody's going to drive in a car today, and we're going to go, like tomorrow, they're all going to be going to the regional. Excuse me 1 minute. My voice, I don't know what's this morning. It's must be very dry. So what's going to happen tomorrow when the people drive to Los Angeles to the regional? You're going to have 4 personalities in the car. Who do you think is going to drive the car? The D. The D. There's no way a D would be sitting in the back seat. The D is going to be in total control and it's going to drive the car. Now, who is going to be on the right side in the front right seat? It's going to be the I. The I wants to be right out front and is excited. And they've bought the banners. They've bought all kinds of excitement, pom-poms. They're excited to be going to the event or whatever. And they talk a lot. Eyes talk a lot. And we could say that Antoinette is a high I. And she is talking a lot, excited and motivational for the team, etc. And who could be driving the car? That could be someone like Renee. Renee is more, all right, I'm driving this car. Or it could be Nilbert. Or it could be someone that's in charge, that they're going to be in charge of this. Maybe in the back seat, who do you see will be on the back right seat will be the S. The S is sitting in the back to support the family. The S you can count on. The S brings a big bag. They will have enough pencils, enough notebooks, apples, granola bars. They're prepared for the family. Things that the I has forgotten about to bring. They were just excited to get in the car, but the S is the one that's prepared. And the C sits behind the driver, and that the high C will say he will bring the map, or he will be tracking on the cell phone now of bringing the directions to guide everybody just in case they get lost or they don't know where they're going. So off they take and they're moving along, and suddenly the eye goes, wow, look, it looks like there's another 3 sticker on that car. I bet they're part of the 3 International. Quick, tells the D, quick, race the car. Let's catch up with them. So the D speeds up, and then they look and they say, oh my gosh, maybe Nilbert and Antoinette are in this other car. And Antoinette's saying, hey, I think that's Renee's car. Let's race up there. And then you race up and hi, hi, hi. Oh, it's so exciting. We're all going. It's going to be so much fun. Now, what happens? The people, the S and the C in the back seat, the S goes, oh my God, and the C. They're so embarrassed. I can't even believe you did that. This is who they're like, oh my God. So you've got these four personalities. And of course, the C always follows the rules. And the C is tapping the shoulder of the driver, the D, excuse me, the speed limit is 65 and you're going 80 miles an hour. But what does the D do? The D doesn't slow down. The D looks around and goes, the D will even speed up more. No one's going to tell the D what to do. The D's in control. The D's telling the car it's going to move and says, man, I'm okay. Forget it. We're moving on. We have time. We have a time limit. We're getting there. So you've got all these four personalities and you're going to meet them at the regional. But now when you drive up, and if you're staying overnight at a hotel, maybe not tomorrow at the regional, but there will be people, they will be driving in maybe from the desert and they decide I don't want to drive back. So they are going to stay in the hotel. So what do? We drive the car up to the front of the hotel. Immediately the bellhop comes out and the I and the D say, absolutely. Well, the bellhop will say, can we take your luggage? Yes. The I loves to be served and needs that attention. Yes, take my bags. And the D said, absolutely take my bags. But the SC's conservative initiative, no, I can take my own bag. Thank you. Because they're saving money. So now they all get out of the car and now they go into the hotel. And here we go. And all of a sudden they go, what? There is a long line to register. And this might even happen tomorrow at the regional when you go in to check with your badges. And so what happens? The D and the I goes, we're not standing in that line. We've got too much to do. We have too much to see and do and enjoy our time and get to the room or get our badges. We're not standing in this line. So what do? They walk up to someone they know in the line. They kind of scoot up and say, oh, hi, so-and-so, how are you? And they slip in. They get to the front of the line. But the SCs do exactly what they're told to do. They go to the end of the line and they wait patiently for their turn. And don't you hate that, SCs, when those DIs do that? You follow the rules and you're standing in line and then you see somebody cut in. That's just their personality. Right or wrong, whatever. It's amazing. So what generally happens, the DIs get their badges first or they get registered first in the hotel. And then they go up to the hotel, they jump in the room, the ID, maybe you've got four personalities sharing the room, and you've got the D, and the D will say, oh man, this is great. Glad we got up here. We can take a nap now and rest and get ready for the event. And the I goes, room service, let's have a party. And they start ordering the room service and they're enjoying themselves. And then all of a sudden, about half hour later, the knock, key rings. And here it is. The SCs are finally coming into the room. And the D and the I's are saying, what took you so long? And they said, well, we were standing in line. Well, no, you should have just done this. They always tell them what they should have done. And now the SCs unpack their bags. They take things out of their suitcase. They put them in the drawers. Now, an I would never do that. The bag is just open. Things are flowing out. And the D doesn't care. He doesn't bring many clothes anyway. They don't care how they dress. Or they have the one great outfit. They're not there to impress, but everybody has their own pattern. And you'll even also notice with the SCs, especially Cs, if they're women, they'll have makeup trays and they're all labeled. where an I would be, who cares? It's if you open their makeup kit, there's makeup over everything. It's all messed up, but the C's are more detailed oriented. Now this SCs will say, okay, we have to get up early for the convention in the morning. Let's set up a system. Who's getting up first to use the shower first? And so they schedule everything for the I's and the D's. So everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Now, about early in the morning, the alarm goes off and the SCs get up because they're the first, they're organized. They're going to be the first ones up. They get up and they get dressed and they say, by the way, it's time for you to get up. We're heading over to the convention center. And the I's and the D's say, oh, go ahead. We'll catch up with you. They want to sleep in or they're going to order room service before they even go. But the SCs, 80%, are already going to the convention center and they're lined up. And when those doors open, man, they are ready to go and get their seat. And they are prepared. The SCs have their notebooks, their pens, they have their bottles of water. They are prepared. Just about the time the convention starts to kick off, and they have the music come out, it's always big da 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 da, and all this and that, and everybody starts standing up. All of a sudden, the I's and the D's come through. Hello, excuse me. They come in like, do you have a seat for me? Did you save me a seat? They expect the SCs to save the seats. They were out in the hallway looking at the product lines or the new banners. They took their time and then they come in and then they come up and they walk right up when everybody's been sitting there or for a long time. And then they're going, well, do you have a seat for me? I mean, like demanding, almost like I expect it. And so that's these different personalities. So you have to just get along with everybody and understand that maybe the D is not, it seems harsh, brash. It's just their personality. They're really nice people, but that's just the way they operate. And thank goodness we have the SCs that are always taking care of us. And of course, when we get there, what has the I done? The I goes, oh my gosh, I forgot my notebook. And turns to the SC, do you have an extra pen? Do you have an extra piece of paper? Do you have an extra book that I can take my notes? And of course, the SC is always prepared for the family. And so all these different personalities that you have to deal with. There's no right or wrong. And your team members are all going to be these different personalities. So you can't get upset. You just deal with everyone and understand where they're coming from. Now, for example, if I were in a crowd, if you were sitting down, I would say to each one of you right now, how many of you think you're a D? Raise your hands if you're a D. I might say in the crowd, anybody that thinks that they're a D, stand up. Or on this call, I say, raise up. And my response to the D's, they'd stand up and I'd say, great, sit down. That's what I would say, sit down. The next group, I'd say, who is an I, how many of you think you're an I? And then the eyes jump up, and they're excited. I say, oh, bravo, we're so excited, eyes. You just keep us on excited and motivated. You are fantastic. We love you. And they sit down. I would never say that to a D. I can say to a D, stand up, sit down, but an I, you are fantastic. And then I would say, how many of you think you're a C? The C stand up. I say, great job. You are so important to us. We count on you every day. You are the glue that keeps our team together. We can always count on you. Thank you so much. You may sit down. See, they will follow the instructions. And then the C, when I say, how many of you think you're a C? And they stand up. I say, thank you very much. You are so important to our organization. We can always count on you for the details of knowing everything in our product knowledge. We know that we can go to you to get our information. You are the ones that keep us on track. You may sit down. But so you have to treat people differently. This is just who they are. You can always go into an I's house, by the way. If you ever notice, you ever go to a high I, things are disorganized. Everything is like they buy groceries, you know, and then they come in and they just stuff them in the front of the pantry. Um, and there's other food behind that maybe have expired, but they don't care. They think, oh my, they run to the store. They never think to look in the back. Do I have that can of tomatoes? No, I'll just go to the store and get another can and then just bring it into the front. But that would never happen with an S or a C. A C, absolutely, a C would have everything alphabetized, and they would even rotate their vegetables, their cans by dates. And that's like some of you, even with our products, when you get your new product in monthly, you're supposed to really put it in the back, go in the back, and then put the new ones in the back and move it up. But the eyes would never do that. They just get their product and they put it on the shelf, and then all of a sudden say, "Oh, this is expired." Well, it's because it's been sitting out there, or you didn't use it up, or whatever. But it's fun. It's really fun to understand all these people, and you have to be patient. And if you're a D's, you have to be very patient with SCs. They're going to say to you, "I want more information," and you want to say, "Who cares? Don't you see the money? Who cares?" No, that C wants to see if it really works. Now I can see, now we're different personalities. We all have 4 personalities in us, but 2 are higher, usually dominant. In the beginning, when I first started in this industry, I was, I guess I would say I was an IS. S was important to me as a mother. And so I like to cook. I like to keep everything in, and I was organized, but I like to have fun. But I was not really a strong D, because as a teacher, I didn't have to be. I just was organized with my classroom. Then I suddenly realized, oh my gosh, if I'm going to build this business, I've got to redirect and change my personality and bring that strength up. So don't think you're locked into this personality for the rest of your life. You can change as you go along. And for an example, I used to make, in the summer, I was a teacher, I would can apricots, and I would make strawberry jam and apricot jam, and I would do all of these things. I put it out. I made homemade cookies from scratch. I did all of that. Then I suddenly went, oh my gosh, if I want to be a leader and I want to build an organization, I only have so many hours in the day. I better change this. But my internal thing was, I want to be a mother still. I want to make everybody know I'm still there for them. So what did I do? I got clever. Maybe that my D was starting to come up to be creative in being smart in my time. And so what did I do? Instead of going to the strawberry farm, collecting the strawberries, coming back and making all of these and making the jars and with the paraffin and putting the ribbons around all the jars, I went to the store and got like maybe, like Costco, went and get those big jars of strawberry jam, big jars of apricot jam. And then I got the little cur jars. And then I came home when the family wasn't there. And then I scooped it out and I went, chit, 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 chit. And then I put little ribbons around it. And then I put it out on my counter so that when my daughter came home or my husband came home and they said, wow, look at all this. I said, yeah, isn't it amazing? So I instinctively, I felt like, well, I did my job as a mom. But then also, instead of making just cookies from scratch, I had to learn, I had to be smart again. I go, I don't have time to do this. Maybe I better get the Toll House cookies in the freezer department, and I'll just go slice, 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 and put them on the cookie sheet and put them in. That saved time. But then I really got even smarter if I didn't have time to do frosting and these different things, and my daughter was coming home from school. I went like, oh, okay, quick, I got a package of cookies. And then I take them out of the package and then I put them on the cookie sheet. And then when I knew she was about ready to come home, I would just slide them into the oven like on warm. And then when she would come in, and I pull and say, "Oh, look what mother made." And so I learned to save time, but my instincts inside were to still be a mom. But I knew if I was going to be a leader and build up, I had to bring that D up and be more efficient. So it's a lot of fun. Um, I love these personalities, but just remember this. And remember D's and I's, you cannot push. This is my last thing on this subject. You cannot push SCs fast. They want to know every single thing. They want to know every ingredient in the product. DIs don't care. But so DIs, if you have recruited an SC, you have to give them the information. Don't push them. You can keep laying it out. So if you want to move out quickly, who do you really want to get on your team? If you want to do the duplication this month of 3, happy 3, and get them, you want to go after I's and D's, because I's and D's go, I want this. I want to win the contest. The I wants to win the contest. The D wants to make that other $2,100 that's sitting there. And so they're ready to move out. S are still taking their time. Eventually, it doesn't mean that they won't be great. SCs can be just as great as a DI, but it takes them longer to move up in ranking because they're learning every single thing and they contribute so much to the total organization. But the DIs are showing it can be done fast. They are the motivators. They're excited, but the SCs are the solid part of our business. And they are consistent because their biggest fear is loss of security. So they love the smart ship. They love that people will order every single month. That is consistent passive residual income. But the I's and the D's are about recognition and moving out fast. So as I just said, if you want to do the happy 3, go through your list. Think about people who are I's that like recognition, and people, the D's, that want to make money. They're driven, and you enroll them, and then they will enroll by that attraction principle. We attract who we are, and they attract other people. And then you can do the duplication, 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 duplication. So that's it for today. George, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's so important what you taught today and yesterday, because if you want to really grow your business big, you have to understand these points about the personalities, because every time you are learning or talking to somebody, there are different personalities, and you connect with them when you are mirroring, when you are connecting with the way that they act. One of the challenges that I see some people, for example, very simple, they say, oh, I don't like to talk to X kind of people. Big mistake. Your team must always make of many different kind of people. And even worse, sometimes some people say, you know what, I don't like this trainer, is why I'm not going to listen to the trainer. Big mistake. Because what happened is it's important to learn from all the different personalities, and you have to be like a kind of a chameleon. Always you have obviously a part of the personality that is more more you than the other ones, but you can be a chameleon. And that's what make people very, very, very successful. When the people are chameleons, they have, of course, something that they always, you say, oh, that person is this and this, but the person is open to all kind of personality. What you just said is amazing. And something that I've always been fascinated since the first time that I learned this many years ago. And of course, you brought up some points that refresh many of those things that we learned in the past. And I'm super, super excited that you did this and that this is recorded for people that say, oh, I don't know, but I cannot get anybody in the business. Probably you've been too much of you over other people. And we don't know what is the too much of you. Think about that. It's why it's so important to understand this. Thank you. And you want to add anything else, Christine, before we go?
No, but I would say just lastly, this is probably the biggest lesson I ever learned about how to be successful is when I understood people. And I think I think I would have been a better teacher. This is another example.
Mm-hmm.
I think you remember the stories. When I was a teacher, I was a good teacher, but I think I would have been better if I understood the different personalities of my children. because who were the children in my classroom? I taught elementary school. The D's were always watching the clock every day, waiting for recess, because they want to get the ball and get out to the playground and be the one in charge of the volleyball or whatever the sport is. They want to be the first ones out. They're the first ones to run and get out to the field. They were the first ones. The eyes drove me crazy. They talked all the time in the classroom. I was always walking around saying, quiet, stop talking, get back to work, stop talking, not time to socialize. I love the S's. Why did I love the S's? Because when I said, open your books, they all opened their books. Well, the I's were still talking, and the D's are looking to see when is recess. And the S's opened their books and did exactly what I told them to do. And the C's, who were the C's? They were constantly erasing their work. They were perfectionists and analytical. I said, come on, it's time to, no, they have to erase it. They have to be perfect. And so I think back, see, we're all born with these instinctively. And so just remember, and start looking at your husband, looking at how people squeeze the toothpaste. I mean, an I's going to go, psh, and a C's going to roll up the toothpaste tube. Have you ever seen it? They're all perfectionists and analytical. So just start watching. And sometimes that's why you have differences with your own spouse, because they do things differently, you know. And but you learn to adapt and adjust, and it's a lot of fun.
I agree. Thank you very much. And this is a topic that we can go in more and more, because it is super amazing, and especially what you say, even with kids. And it's interesting because sometimes, and this is a side part, actually, let me stop the live stream and the recording because it could be a little controversial. I feel that some kids sometimes are diagnosed with being ADD or ADHD, and really they are acting against their personality. I don't say that there is no that disease. It is. But the problem that sometimes some people, they confuse it with an illness, and that's not good in the long term for a kid. Because it's their personality. I was all over the place when I was a kid. Now, at the time, nobody talked about ADD or anything like that. I was just personality. That was and I always tried to make fun, and sometimes I changed. But anyway, but I think we have to be careful. Again, sometimes they are, of course, going to the spectrum really extreme. Of course, that's something that has to be dealt with. But sometimes kids are misdiagnosed, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. That's why I stopped recording. Stop this. But we have to make sure, and many times also people, teachers, they cannot deal with certain kids because they're different personality, and then they are diagnosing the kids. No good idea either. They are not really good teachers because they don't understand personality. They may know their matter, the history, math, or whatever, but they don't understand the kids. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this in. And I know it's a little controversial. We'll stop recording. I don't want the FDA to get me a call. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you very much. And tomorrow, remember, tomorrow we have the trainings. We have the onboarding at 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock I'm going to go into the pay plan, and also adding, of course, the new 3x3. Very important for those of you that want to go into the numbers of the pay plan. Thank you very much, and I talk to you later. Have a great week. See you. Bye.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Christine, again.
So
Awesome.
excellent.
Thanks,
Loved it.
everybody. Excellent.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you,
Great. It
George.
was great.
Everyone.